families, civil leaders, fellow soldiers, veterans, partners, and friends. Good morning. Good morning. I am Captain Mike Yoon of the 40th Infantry Division. 72 years ago, signatures at Panmunjom silenced artillery, but the duty marched on. California trained soldiers who crossed the Pacific, healed soldiers who returned, and still speaks every name at kitchen tables and carves each one in granite. That armistice birthed an alliance that now anchors the Indo-Pacific stability. The alliance is not abstract. It wears this sunburst patch, carries the mugunghwa flower, and speaks both English and Hangulga, often in the very same breath. That shared breath still steadies the Sunburst Division today. We stand here to honor lives offered without guarantee, to celebrate a partnership stronger than any ceasefire line, and to hand this story to the next generation with undimmed clarity. It is your presence that gives this mission credibility, gravity, and reach. And for that, the 40th Infantry Division thanks you and stands ready for the work ahead. Please rise, if able, for the presentation of the colors. Thank you. Mr. Daniel Kim will now sing the national anthem of the United States.
Oh, stay. Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming? Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. And oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
you, Mr. Kim. Mr. Kim now offers the national anthem of the Republic of Korea.
동해물과 백두산이 마르고 닳도록 하나님이 보호하사 우리나라 만세 무궁화 삼천리 화려강산 대한 사람 대한으로 길이 보전하세.
Thank you, Mr. Kim. 2 anthems, 1 commitment. Thank you. We now pause 10 seconds in quiet remembrance of those who never returned. Thank you. Chaplain Simon Moon will now offer the invocation.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we gather today in solemn remembrance to mark the 72nd anniversary of the Korean War Armistice. With hearts full of gratitude, we honor the nations and individuals who stood together during a defining moment in history to defend peace, justice, and freedom. Lord, we remember the brave men and women who faced unimaginable hardship and gave of themselves, many to the point of death, so that others might live free. We ask your eternal blessing upon the souls of those who made the ultimate sacrifice. May they rest in peace in your loving embrace. We lift up in prayer the veterans of the Korean War, those who still carry the visible and invisible wounds of battle. May your healing presence grant them strength, resilience, and renewed hope. May they feel the support of a grateful nation each day of their lives. There's no greater love than to lay down one's life for another. May God always bless them and their families for many generations to come. We offer this prayer in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Chaplain Moon, appreciation for your words. Please remain standing as the flags depart. The Pava World Team now retires the colors. We thank them for their graceful service. Thank you. Please be seated. To frame the partnership we celebrate, we begin with the 40th Infantry Division's record in Korea. On 1st September 1950, the 40th Infantry Division was called into federal service for the Korean War. In late March 1951, soldiers sailed from Oakland and San Francisco to Japan for training that spanned Mount Fuji to Sendai. On 23rd December 1951, orders sent the division to Korea, arriving in January 1952. Sunburst soldiers relieved the 24th Infantry Division by February. The 160th, 223rd, and 224th Infantry Regiments held the line with attached support units. Battles at Sandbag Castle and Heartbreak Ridge imposed a heavy toll. 1,880 casualties, 376 killed in action, 1,457 wounded, 47 who later died of wounds. A local silversmith honored their sacrifice with a punch bowl set to include melted combat infantryman badges, its interior engraved with Heartbreak Ridge. 3 soldiers of the 223rd Infantry, David B. Bleak, Gilbert G. Collier, Clifton T. Spiker, earned the Medal of Honor. On 1st July 1954, the division reorganized as the 40th Armored Division. Its creed endures: duty, honor, fidelity. And that heritage frames the voices you will now hear. And now, representing the 40th Infantry Division, I welcome Colonel David Chang, Chief of Intelligence.
Thank you very much for the music. Good morning, distinguished guests, honored veterans, service members, family, friends. On behalf of Major General William J. Pendergrass IV, Commanding General of the 40th Infantry Division, I'm honored to welcome you to the Joint Forces Training Base, Los Alamitos, the headquarters of the Sunburst Division, and to commemorate the 72nd anniversary of the Korean War Armistice Agreement. My name is Lieutenant Colonel David Chang, Senior Liaison for the 40th Infantry Division. 존경하는 내일 기분 여러분, 반갑습니다. 저는 중령 데이비 창, 한국 이름은 장성현입니다. I'm a second generation Korean American, and today has a special meaning, not just because I get to represent the 40th, but because I'm a second generation Korean American. I would not be standing here, and neither would those kids, young, third, second generation either, if it were not for our veterans that served in Korea. Korea had been under Japanese occupation, so nobody had even heard of the country. So you had about 1.95 million soldiers from 21 countries, 1.8 which were from the US, went to a small country, South Korea the size of Indiana, very small, and they fought for freedom. I grew up listening to stories, and maybe it was just me, but I loved when my grandparents talked about Korean War and the hardships, and always to be grateful. They always said, you owe the U.S. 3 things: your faith, your family, your freedom. And I especially love when my dad would talk about Douglas MacArthur's Incheon landing. And especially for the youngers, if you don't know about that battle, you should look it up, because it was a 1 in 5,000 chance of it occurring. 1 in 5,000, but he was confident and he succeeded, and that changed the Korean War. And that, I believe, is the reason why we are here today. When I was in 5th grade, that's when I said, hey, like Douglas MacArthur, I too want to go to West Point, and that's how I want to give back, because I'm very grateful. So about 20 years later now, I'm part of the 40th Infantry Division. And as Captain Yoon mentioned, so about 18,000 soldiers deployed, and they arrived in 1952, and by then the front lines had stabilized, and it was very back and forth trench warfare. The 40th participated in over 3,000 combat patrols, 150 small unit raids on enemy outposts. They were tasked to actually capturing Chinese POWs to bring them back so our intel can interrogate them. 400,000 artillery rounds, built 25,000 miles of forward supply lines, 3 field hospitals, and as mentioned, 3 Medal of Honor winners. And if you read their biographies, it's absolutely incredible. But the division wasn't just restricted to combat. They actually built schools, hospitals, public facilities in the Kwanning Township, and it's an area called Sunburst Village. And the Gapyeong High School is named after and it was started by donations from the 40th ID. I know that a lot of the veterans still return for graduations, and in 2008 he opened up the museum, the Kaiser Hall Museum, and he was named after Kenneth Kaiser, who was from LA, and he was the first killed in action from the 40th ID. After the war ended, and I would hear these stories, Korea was very poor. It was one of the poorest in the nation. In fact, it was so poor that they were getting aid from Ethiopia. 72 years later, now it had, back in 1953, it had a GDP of about $40 million, 66 per capita. Just imagine I'm living off $66 a year. Now it's the 13th largest economy in the world, $1.7 trillion, $36,000 per capita. And a very interesting thing, and I like kind of these sort of facts, is South Korea was the 7th country to hit the 2050 mark. What that means, it's 50 million population, 20,000 per capita. There's only 7 countries in the world that have hit that, and South Korea was the 7th and last one so far, and the only one that before World War II was not industrialized. And just to kind of put it in perspective, since 1950, the world on average has become 4.4 times wealthier, the average person. For South Koreans, it's 32 times wealthier, the highest ever. So it's very interesting to see that the effort that our veterans put forth wasn't just so that we have Squid Games or BTS or K-pop or Samsung phones. That's a byproduct of the sacrifice that our soldiers, veterans here sacrificed for. Today, Korea is known around the world, as I mentioned, by a lot of the culture. And I look at, so we have the Sunshine Battalion. What this here represents the sun, and the sun, it represents California's beautiful weather. And Korea had the coldest winters in 1950 to 53, very dark, and veteran accounts talk about how miserable it was. And I see the sun as that beacon that shone the light for the new dawn, for the new generation. I think that for the young people in this room, who are probably about 20, 30 years younger than I am, you understand that you are inheriting this peace, and it's very fragile, because we see that North Korea, what they're doing all the time. And it was very costly. Not many people know this, but about 1 out of 9 Koreans died in the Korean War, and majority of them civilians. Just imagine 1 out of 10 not being here in this room because of a war. And I think it's very important that we continue to have that strong resolve. So I want to, again, on behalf of the 40th Infantry Division, thank all the military and the different associations here. And President Mark Choi, who, part of Oroka, is putting this event together. I've seen, he's so motivated to put this thing together, and I was part of the 75th outbreak as well. So I think we should all owe him a thanks for putting it together. So lastly, closing to our veterans and their families, your sacrifices shape the course of history and guide our values today. For our Republic of Korea Army partners, it's your friendship that is the foundation for peace in the region. And to our younger generation, I think it's very important, you are the ones who are going to carry that torch forward that both sides of the Pacific live, that sunburst that we wear on our shoulders. And my presence here is a testament to that. So thank you for all that have attended today and volunteered your time and resources. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless the Republic of Korea. And may He continue to strengthen the partnership that we have together. 감사합니다.
I'd like to present the symbol coin of Republic of Korea. Let's take up. Okay.
Koreans like taking photos.
Yeah.
Good tell.
Thank you.
Colonel Chang, thank you for anchoring us in mission and memory. Now, retired Captain Mr. Martin Manyu Che now brings greetings as President of AROKA, Association of the Republic of Korea Army for the U.S. chapter.
먼저 안내 받겠습니다. Good morning, everyone. Welcome and thank you all for being here today. We gather to honor the courageous veterans of Korean War, both American and Korean. Over 36,000 US soldiers and more than 137,000 South Korean troops gave their lives. More than 120,000 remain missing, yet never forgotten. Because of your bravery, the Republic of Korea stands strong and free. The world may be paused, but your legacy endures. To our heroes, to all soldiers, and the students who carry this legacy forward, today we remember, we are grateful, and we move forward together. We go together. Thank you.
Mr. Chen, bonds affirmed. The Association of the United States Army stands beside every soldier. Now, Ms. Patty Benton speaks for its Greater Los Angeles chapter. Let's give her a round of applause.
Thank you. Ladies, gentlemen, and veterans, I just want to show that I have a different logo on my shirt than what is shown up here. It's because it's our 250th anniversary. Just want to throw that in there. Today we gather to commemorate the 72nd anniversary of the armistice that ended the Korean War. A conflict that not only shaped the course of Korean history, but also left an indelible mark on the global stage. It's a solemn occasion to reflect on the sacrifices made, the courage shown, and the enduring lessons that resonate with us even today. 75 years ago, on June 25th, 1950, the Korean Peninsula was plunged into a conflict that would test the resolve of nations and the resilience of people. What began as a localized struggle soon drew in the forces of the international community, marking it as one of the defining moments of the 20th century. Amidst the chaos of war, the United States and Republic of Korea have established a relationship that has been a cornerstone for the past 75 years. It has stood the test of time and will continue to flourish. Through this relationship, our countries have grown and prospered. Today, as we look back on the tumultuous years, we honor the memory of those who gave their lives in defense of these ideals. We pay tribute to the soldiers who fought bravely on distant shores, the families who endured separation and loss, and the communities that rebuilt amidst the ruins of the conflict. As we commemorate this anniversary, let us reaffirm our commitment to fostering peace and reconciliation, not only on the Korean Peninsula, but throughout the world. Let us strive to build bridges of understanding, to seek common ground, and to embrace the diversity that enriches our global community. In closing, let us honor the legacy of those who came before us by working tirelessly for a world where peace prevails, where justice reigns, and where the memories of past conflicts serve as a reminder of the importance of harmony and cooperation among nations. Thank you for allowing me to join you on this special day.
Thank you, Ms. Mente. Steadfast advocacy, well appreciated. Welcome remarks conclude. We now proceed to special remarks. And we open with a message from Vice Minister Eugene Kang, Ministry of Patriots and Veteran Affairs, Republic of Korea.
존경하는 내기빈 여러분 반갑습니다. 대한민국 국가본부 차관 강은진입니다. 6.25 전쟁 정전협정 체결 72주년을 맞아 영상으로나마 여러분께 인사드릴 수 있게 되어 매우 뜻깊게 생각합니다. 특히 존경하는 한미 양국의 창전용사 여러분을 비롯해 미 제40보병사단 윌리엄 프렌더게스트 4세 사단장님과 장병 여러분, 그리고 한미 양국의 육군협회 관계자 여러분께 깊이 감사드립니다. 75년 전 6.25 전쟁으로 대한민국이 위기에 처했을 때 전혀 알지 못한 나라, 한 번도 만난 적 없는 국민들을 지키기 위해 178만 9천여 명의 미국 장병들이 참전하였습니다. 특히 제40보병사단은 연천과 철원 등 주요 격전지에서 용감하게 싸우며 정전협정을 체결할 때까지 대한민국 수호에 공헌했습니다. 그리고 미국 제40보병사단과 대한민국 가평고등학교 간에 맺어진 특별한 인연에 대해서도 말씀드리겠습니다. 6.25 전쟁이 한창이던 1952년 3월 40보병사단은 장병들의 성금을 모아 44단의 첫 전사자인 카이저 중사의 이름을 딴 카이저 고등학교를 세웠고, 이 학교가 지금의 가평고등학교입니다. 제40보병사단은 지금도 가평고등학교에 장학금을 지원하는 등 소중한 인연을 이어오고 있습니다. 이는 너무도 감사한 일이 아닐 수 없으며 40보병사단과 가평고등학교 간의 우정처럼 6.25 전쟁에서 함께 올린 피로 맺어진 한미동맹이 더욱 튼튼하게 이어지기를 바랍니다. 대한민국 정부는 44단 창전용사님들을 비롯한 미국 창전용사님들의 위대한 헌신을 결코 잊지 않겠습니다. 감사합니다.
Well, let's just here with us, Vice Minister Kang. The gratitude is conveyed. Now, California State Senator Stephen Choi now addresses us.
Thank you and good morning. Let me find my script that I composed. And Senator Stephen Choi from Orange County area, originally from South Korea. And also I served as a lieutenant, artillery lieutenant in the 38th parallel area in the 3rd Infantry Division near DMZ. It is my great honor to join you today to commemorate the 72nd anniversary of the significant signing of the Korean War Armistice Agreement. I've now become a repeat visitor on this occasion. Whenever we gather here, we do it not only to remember history, but to honor the courage and the sacrifice of those who fought for the cause of freedom on the Korean Peninsula. Among the heroes we remember today are the brave soldiers of the U.S. Army's 40th Infantry Division, who answered the call during one of the darkest chapters in modern history. Their fierce defense against communist aggression helped preserve the Republic of Korea, a nation that has since risen from the ashes of the world to become a thriving democracy and one of the world's leading economies. I especially want to acknowledge the deep and lasting friendship that has formed between the people of Gapyeong County and the veterans of the 40th Division. The ties forged a battle have blossomed into a legacy of peace, education, and shared values. The establishment of the Gapyeong High School, supported by these veterans, and the continued scholarship programs are testaments to that enduring bond. As a Korean American and state senator, I carry profound gratitude for all who served. I stand here today because of the liberty secured by your sacrifices. Your courage laid the foundation for generations to live free, pursue dreams, and contribute to the global community. As we mark this solemn and profound anniversary, let us recommit ourselves to preserving the legacy of those who fought, not just in words, but our dedication to peace, partnership, and enduring alliance between the United States and the Republic of Korea. Thank you. May God bless all veterans, and may He bless the alliance that has stood the test of the time. And also, I appreciate all the volunteers, and especially Chairman Mangyu Mak Choi for organizing this annual meaningful event. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Senator Choi, thank you for championing veteran affairs. Now, Ms. Abigail Falkman presents greetings on behalf of Congresswoman Young Kim.
네, 안녕하세요. 영팀 연방하원의원을 보좌관 김한입니다. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Abigail Flaxman here on behalf of Congresswoman Young Kim, and it is an honor and privilege to be here for the 72nd anniversary of the Korean Armistice Agreements. Today we gathered here to commemorate this anniversary. We remember the price of freedom, the sacrifices that were made to keep democracy in Korea, and the reality that the war continues today. Every year on this anniversary, we are reminded that freedom is not free, and as President Reagan has said, freedom is not inherited but must be fought for and defended constantly by each generation. So we thank you for your continued dedication to a free and democratic Korea and a strong U.S.-Korea alliance. Thank you for your continued support of our Korean War veterans and their families. And thank you for your leadership, sacrifice, and service. So again, on behalf of Congresswoman Young Kim, we appreciate and thank you for having this anniversary event every year. And we are grateful for your continued support. Thank you so much.
Message received. Fun fact, actually, Congresswoman Young Kim and I used to go to the same church at one point in time. Now, Mr. Cody Mendoza speaks for Congressman Derek Tran. Mr. Mendoza.
Cody Mendoza. It's an honor to join you today on behalf of Congressman Derek Tran, who represents California's 45th Congressional District. I am excited and honored to be here to commemorate the 72nd anniversary of the Korean War Armistice. We are here not only to remember a pivotal moment in history, but to honor the profound sacrifices of our Korean War veterans, those who served with courage, endured unimaginable hardship, and defended the values of freedom and democracy. Their bravery helped shape the alliance between the United States and the Republic of Korea, a bond that remains strong to this day. As some of you might know, Congressman Tran is the son of refugees and a U.S. Army veteran, so he deeply understands the cost of war and the promise of peace and democracy. He stands in unwavering gratitude to all who served in Korea and to all the families who bore the burdens of their service. Today we also express our appreciation to the active duty personnel, those who carry on the legacy of selfless service. Your dedication ensures that the sacrifices of the past continue to inspire a safer and more just world. On behalf of Congressman Tran, thank you for allowing us to be a part of this meaningful tribute. May we always remember and never take for granted our freedom. Thank you.
Bye.
Our thanks to the Congressman. Thank you, Mr. Mendoza. Now, Lieutenant Colonel Ji-won Kang, liaison officer from the Republic of Korea Army, will now speak.
Good morning. Distinguished Korean War veterans, members of the 47th Infantry Division, and everyone who helped make today's ceremony possible. As an officer of the Republic of Korea Army, I'm truly honored and grateful to stand before you today to commemorate the 72nd anniversary of the Korean War Armistice. First, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the Honorable Stephen Choi, California State Senator, for joining us today. And I also wish to sincerely thank Ms. Patty Mente, Vice President of the Association of the United States Army, Korea Los Angeles Chapter, and Mr. Martin Choi, where are you? Mr. Martin Choi, President of the Association of Rock Army, LA Chapter, for your continued efforts to strengthen the enduring friendship between our two nations. Thank you so much. Some may wonder, more than 7 years have passed. Can you let it go? To that, I say this, clearly and from the heart. No, we must not forget, and we will never forget. The armistice was not the end of the war. It is only a pause. North Korea's military threats continue to this day, and every day, young soldiers from Korea and the United States stand together, shoulder to shoulder, defending peace and freedom in the Korean Peninsula. I believe today is not just about remembering the past, it's about facing the reality of the present and renewing our promise to protect the future. In 1952, the 40th Infantry Division was deployed to Korea. They fought bravely in some of the fiercest battles of the war, including Heartbreak Ridge and Punch Bowl. In that time, 376 soldiers were killed and 1,435 were wounded. Their sacrifice is not just a part of history. This is the very foundation upon which the Republic of Korea stands today. While stationed in Gapyeong, Gyeonggi Province, the soldiers of the 40th Infantry Division saw children studying in tents in the middle of war. They were moved and they took action. They raised money and built a school. That school was named Kaiser High School in honor of Sergeant First Class Kenneth Kaiser, the first member of the division to fall in the Battle of Kumsong. Today, it's known as Gapyeong High School, but the original plaque from the 40th Infantry Division still stands in the school's history hall. It reads, "This school is dedicated to the future leaders of the Republic of Korea by the officers and the men of the 40th Infantry Division, United States Army." It's a short sentence, but it speaks volumes of friendship, of sacrifice, and of the enduring spirit of the ROK-US alliance. Today, I remember the many heroes who gave their lives on the Korean soil, and I'm reminded of a line from a film that has stayed with me. The moment a person truly dies is when they are no longer remembered by anyone in this world. Let us keep remembering them. Let their courage live on through us, and may their memory remain close to our hearts always. Thank you.
Alliance is affirmed. Thank you, Colonel King. Now, Commander David Bravila offers remarks for the American Legion, Department of California. Round of applause.
Good morning. Honored guests, veterans, and distinguished dignitaries. Today we gather to celebrate the enduring bond forged by bravery, sacrifice, and a shared commitment to peace. An unbreakable connection between American and Korean veterans. As we commemorate the 72nd Korean Amnesty, we reflect on our shared history and honor the extraordinary contributions that both nations' servicemen and women have made in the pursuit of freedom and security. 72 years ago, the Korean War began, marking a pivotal chapter in the histories of both of our nations. American forces fought valiantly alongside their Korean counterparts, united by a common objective: to defend democracy against tyranny. This struggle forged a profound partnership, one that has evolved over the decades and remains a cornerstone of our alliance today. To the American veterans, your bravery and resilience were instrumental in ensuring that South Korea could emerge from the shadows of war. You answered the call to duty, displaying unwavering resolve in the face of daunting challenges. Your contributions were not merely military. You forged friendships, fostered understanding, and helped lay the groundwork for a peaceful and prosperous Korea. To our Korean veterans, we honor your sacrifices made on your home soil. You stood firm against overwhelming odds, displaying remarkable courage in the face of adversity. Your resilience, spirit, and determination to protect your homeland served as an enduring testament to the strength of the Korean people. As we observe this amnesty, we embrace the spirit of the reconciliation and unity. We recognize that healing is a shared journey. Today we stand together to honor not only the sacrifices of the past, but to acknowledge the challenges the veterans continue to face today. We must ensure that their stories are told and their contributions are never forgotten. The bond between American and Korean veterans transcends borders and generations. It is a reminder that together we can overcome divisions and brighten our future. As we work towards peace and mutual understanding, let us renew our commitment to support all veterans, those who served in the front lines and those who worked tirelessly behind the scenes. In celebration of the 72nd Korea Amnesty, let us join hands, cherish our shared legacy of sacrifice and service. Let us honor our past, nurture our present, and look forward to a future built on trust, cooperation, and unwavering friendship. We look forward to continuing the bonds of the American Legion and the U.S. veterans of Korean descent and heritage. 감사합니다. Thank you.
David, I'd like to present this level. Would you please read what it said?
We go together.
Yes.
Mr. Choi. Mr. Choi, on behalf of the American Legion, this certificate of appreciation. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
That's one great. Thank you.
Your service is honored. Thank you very much, Commander Bambila. I now read a letter from Mayor Tae-Won Seo of Gapyeong County. Honoring the 72nd anniversary of the Korean War Armistice and the legacy of the U.S. 40th Infantry Division. Distinguished veterans, members of the 40th Infantry Division, and honored guests, this is Tae-Won Seo, Mayor of Gapyeong County. I sincerely congratulate the commemorative ceremony of the U.S. Army 40th Infantry Division held on the 75th anniversary of the outbreak of the Korean War and the 72nd anniversary of the signing of the Armistice Agreement. Although I am unable to attend in person on this meaningful day, I would like to extend on behalf of the people of Gapyeong my deepest respect and gratitude to the veterans who dedicated themselves to the freedom and peace of the Republic of Korea. We are deeply moved by the presence of Mr. Roman Morales, a veteran of the 40th Infantry Division who served during the Korean War and visited Gapyeong in the past. The bond between Gapyeong County and the U.S. 40th Infantry Division dates back to the Korean War. It was thanks to the sacrifice and bravery of the soldiers of the 40th Infantry Division who fought courageously against the invasion of North Korean Communist and Chinese forces to protect the freedom and democracy of South Korea, that our nation was able to grow from a war-torn country into a strong and prosperous nation in just 70 years. Even after the war, you helped rebuild the devastated region of Gapyeong, and your contribution in establishing Gapyeong High School became a symbol of Korea-U.S. friendship and a beacon of hope in education. To this day, the veterans of the 40th Infantry Division have continued their unwavering friendship by providing scholarships to students at Gapyeong High School. We are deeply grateful for your enduring generosity. As a graduate of Gapyeong High School myself, I was able to grow under the warmth of your support and with the encouragement of our residents. I have become the governor of Gapyeong County. Both the citizens of Gapyeong and I owe a debt of gratitude to the veterans that cannot be repaid. To express our deep appreciation, we erected the U.S. Veterans Monument in Gapyeong on February 4, 2016 to honor the remarkable achievements of the U.S. in the Korean War. Currently, we are promoting the U.S. Commonwealth Security Tourism Park project, aiming for completion by December 2028. This park will honor the sacrifice and dedication of the U.S. and Commonwealth countries that participated in the Korean War, and it will serve as a space to pass down the friendship among Korea, the U.S., and the U.K. to future generations. Designed as both a historical education site and a symbolic space to reflect on the values of peace and freedom, it will allow visitors from Korea and abroad to experience the preciousness of liberal democracy. Once again, I extend my heartfelt congratulations on the successful hosting of this commemorative event. And I sincerely wish all the veterans of the 40th Infantry Division and their families good health and peace. Thank you. Thank you to our communities are connected. Thank you. Both to Mayor Seo from abroad in Korea and to Ms. Peck. Our diplomatic finale, Mr. J.M. Kim, Consul of the Republic of Korea in Los Angeles. Consul Kim. Round of applause, please.
Good morning. Nice to meet you. Dear Korean war veterans and Vietnam war veterans and honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, it's an honor to be here represented by Consul General of South Korea in Los Angeles. And thank Martin Chue for inviting me at this memorable ceremony. Today we gather to mark the 72nd anniversary of the Korean War armistice. A day to remember and honor those who gave so much to protect the Republic of Korea. A time to reflect, to express our gratitude, and never to forget the sacrifices made in the name of freedom. To all veterans from Korea, United States, especially those ID, who fought side by side, I offer my deepest respect. To the families who lost loved ones in the war, my heart goes out to you. The sacrifice you paid is something we can never fully repay, but we will always remember. 75 years ago, Korean War broke out on a peaceful summer morning. In just a few days, Seoul was captured and much of the country was overrun. But thanks to the bravery of the US and UN forces, especially through General MacArthur's interim landing, the tide began to turn. It ended.
군의 대규모 인해 전술 공세를 저지하며 연합군 전선을 잘 지켜낸 공로로 대한민국 대통령의 부대의 표창을 받은 자랑스러운 부대입니다. 가평 전투는 단지 하나의 전투가 아니라 바로 구구의 용기와 헌신의 상징이었습니다. 이토록 한미 장병들이 흘린 피와 용기는 이 땅의 후세들에게 자유와 미래를 남겨주었습니다. 특히 가난하고 전쟁의 표 위에 장병들의 정성과 사랑으로 모금해 설립한 가평고등학교는 미래의 인재들을 키워내며 자유와 번영, 희망의 상징이 되고 있습니다. 지금까지 정전이라는 이름의 평화는 미완의 평화입니다. 항구적 평화를 이루기 위해 우리는 과거를 기억하고 그 정신을 이어가야 합니다. 국가를 위해 피 흘린 자를 잊지 않고 함께 싸운 전우를 끝까지 기억하는 우리는 그날 그들의 희생에 존경과 감사를 드립니다. 끝으로 한미동맹의 영원한 우정을 기원하면서 참전 노병의 여성에 하나님의 가호를 기원합니다. Hello. My name is J. Lee, a retired Korean Army captain and president of the Korean War Veterans Association, the Western region of USA. Dear soldiers of the 4th Infantry Division, respected veterans and distinguished guests, today, as we stand on the front lines again on the 72nd anniversary of the armistice, my heart beats heavier and harder than ever as I recall the memories. On a bright spring day in April 1951, the beautiful mountains and rivers of Gapyeong War battlefield engulfed in gunfire. At that time, the U.S. 4th Infantry Division was a proud unit that received a commendation from the President of the Republic of Korea for its contribution in blocking the large-scale human labor tactic offensive of Red Chinese Army and defending the Allied front lines. The Battle of Gapyeong was not just a battle, but a symbol of courage and dedication to saving the country. The blood and the courage shed the Korean and US soldiers left freedom and the future for future generation in this land. In particular, Gapyeong High School, which was established with the sincerity and love of the soldiers under ruins, poverty, and war, is nurturing future talent and becoming a symbol of freedom, prosperity, and hope. The peace called the armistice is an incomplete peace so far. In order to achieve lasting peace, we must remember the past and carry in its spirit. We will never forget those who shed blood for our country, and we will remember our comrades who fought together, unit and end. And we pay tribute to their sacrifice that day and express our gratitude. Finally, we pray for the eternal friendship of the Republic of Korea United States Alliance and pray for the God's blessing on the veterans of the rest of their lives. Thank you very much. Sorry.
Kathleen, memory preserved, thank you very much. We now welcome Sergeant Retired Joseph Wong, who will share reflections interpreted by Chaplain Moon.
Joseph Wong, an American-born Chinese veteran of the Korean War. I hope you can hear me well. I just wanted to address a little bit to the young folks and children in the audience. I want to thank all the organizations that invited me here. This is probably my third time, and at 93, I don't know how many more I can make. But anyway, I asked to speak today because the 72nd anniversary of the signing, it may not mean a lot to people who it's just another number. I just want to give you a 19-year-old version of what it was like 72 years ago, because I was standing on a mountaintop in Kaesong. That's around, at that time I didn't know if it was the North Korea or South Korea, because it changed every few weeks. We would be off on our side, sometimes we would be on their side. But anyway, it's around the 38th parallel. If you know where Panmunjom is, where it's all signed, it's to the left of it. So I remember that day very vividly because I was on a mountainside watching the enemy and not really believing that we were not going to shoot at each other anymore. They had made promises and talked like this in the past, but you can imagine a 19-year-old boy watching across the enemy, not knowing if they were going to honor that truce or not. For all we know, they were going to start throwing bombs again. But a few days later, and when we did shoot each other, it finally came to me that I'm going to go home safe and sound. I'm going to leave my fellow warriors here. And I think that God gave me a chance to come back and tell this story to youngsters like I see here in the audience. I want you to remember that you should ask your grandfathers and your parents about the war, because if you don't ask them, they may not tell you. It wasn't fun. They were hungry, they were cold, and unless you ask, they won't know you're interested. The hardships that us veterans endured allows you to play video games and have your cell phones and enjoy life and freedom to go to school and do what you want to do. I want you to know that because of veterans like us and my brother veterans in the white jackets, you're here today. And it gives me a lot of pressure and pleasure to know that you're here, because my brothers who left their blood on the Korean soil, it seems worthwhile now to see you. If we weren't there, maybe you wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be here today. Maybe we would be speaking Chinese or North Korean dialect. But we are here, and I want you to appreciate that. You're all pretty much the same age as I was when I raised my hand and swore to the President of the United States that I would serve. At that time, I didn't realize that it really meant I would give my life, that I would die, not come back. But when I got to the battlefields of Korea and saw some of my comrades spill their blood, it struck me that this is true. It's not like the movies. And I wondered if it was all worthwhile or not. Well, children, when I came back to Korea 10, 12 years later, and I saw how prosperous Korea was, it really made my heart so happy and glad to see Korea on its feet. And it's the 6th wealthiest economy in the world. I think there's about 140 nations in the world, and to be South Korea to be number 6 is quite an accomplishment in a short 72 years since the armistice was signed. So, children, respect and honor what you've been given. Freedom isn't free. A lot of us died and so that you could be free to go to church and play video games and live the life that you have. I want you to be sure and pass this word on to others. I'm Vice President of the Korean War Veterans Association. We have probably 200 chapters all over America. Ours happened to be the local chapter 328 of the Korean War Veterans Association. I'm Vice President. Our main job is to speak to whoever will listen to us and tell them about the war so that it won't be forgotten. We mustn't let them ever forget. Even my last visit to Korea 2 years ago, I was invited by the President, by the way, to give me a business class ticket to go to Korea. And I spent a week there in Busan and in Seoul. By the way, before I go off the subject, at 7:93, sometimes I may do that, and I know it's getting close to lunchtime, but I'll try to be short. If you see these guys with the white jackets like mine, it shows that we are Korean veterans. The President of the United States, President of Korea, South Korea, gave me this jacket when I was there. Later on, he mailed all these white jackets to the rest of my comrades, the warriors. So, that, in case you didn't know, that's what these white jackets are. In Korea, all the war veterans were issued these jackets to wear. The tan-colored ones, also issued by the South Korean government, are the veterans that served during Vietnam. So that's the distinction. Well, I guess I just speak from the heart. You'll notice I don't have any papers, but it's easy to address you guys speaking from the heart. I don't need any paperwork. I don't need any clue cards. Please spread the word, you youngsters, because you're the only ones left that can do that. Please do. I will continue as long as I can. And God bless you all. If you'll indulge me for one more moment, my fellow white coaters, if you'll come up here, I seldom get together with all of them and they don't all speak English. And so, we're the white coats and we're all brother veterans. If they would, I would like to give them a small token, a personally token of my love for them and the brotherhood. So, if please, Captain Lee, if you will come up here and all the rest of the white jacket people, may I take a moment to present them with my personal gift, Martin?
나오세요. 이제
선물 주시겠대요. My fellow white jacket brothers, please come up.
You have blood brothers.
This wasn't on the program, by the way, and it will be late lunch for about 5 minutes, but I'll be quick.
네. Okay, Korean War veterans, please come up. 앞으로 오세요. 나오세요. 우리 조세봉 유공자님이 한국군 유공자님들에게 본인의 기념물을 나눠드리겠습니다.
No, one by one, I guess. Please come up. No, I have a special one for him because I gave him one last time. Please, if you'll just stand up. Brother Lee, please accept this as my personal gift to say thank you, my brother.
Okay, thank you very much.
This is just a token of my appreciation, brother. I don't know how much longer it's going to be, right? No need to. Is he a veteran?
Yeah, he's
okay. Thank you.
He's 96-year-old.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you. It's just a small token of, I know that this is gold. Yeah. Okay. From my heart. Thank you. Thank you, my brother. I salute you all. Oh, yeah. But no. That's okay. No, I will give them special.
나같이 경례로 인사합시다.
Thank you so much. We're all about in the 90s, and we really don't know when we're going to meet again. And so I appreciate taking your time. Thank you, my brothers. I hope we'll see you again next year.
Yeah, okay. Stand here.
Thank you.
Okay. That's lovely.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, my brothers. Everybody stay healthy.
It's okay.
My blood brothers are all right.
Thank you very much, Sergeant Wong. The service is honored. Thank you for such a moving speech. If I may have your attention, please. I would like to call up Sergeant Retired Roman Morales to the stage. Please welcome Mr. Roman Morales with a round of applause.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think I need the microphone. My name is Roman Morales. 75 years ago, I was 20 years old. A member of the 40th Division National Guard. I was a National Guardman. I knew nothing about Korea, but on June 25th, Wednesday, when North Korea invaded South Korea, I found out where South Korea was, because the following week, we were notified that the 40th Division was going to do active duty at Camp Cook, California. On September the 1st, at midnight, they assigned me as a driver for the regimental commander, who was Colonel Smalley, for the 224th Regiment. At midnight, we led the convoy to Camp Cook, California. That's when we started our training there. Colonel Smalley was with me for a month. At the end of the month, he was transferred to Camp Roberts, and I received a new colonel, Colonel Richardson, 20-year man from West Point. Excellent colonel, but there was only one problem with him. He walked everywhere he went. He walked everywhere he went. The troops immediately named him Walking Jim. Now, that meant that in the morning, I would get up, go to his quarters, pick him up, bring him to headquarters, and sit out there on that Jeep 8 hours a day. And this just went on, and what do I do? I'm driving 4 or 5 miles, but like I said, he was excellent. Now, when the colonel says, we got to go to watch G Company fire, we got the G Company, they're firing the 30 machine guns, he said, you're going to do it also. Anything that we took for him, he had me do also. Like I said, he was excellent. I was so tired of just sitting. Just imagine, every day I sat there 8 hours a day. And I'm not that way. I can't just sit around. So one day, executive officer, Colonel Shepard, Lieutenant Colonel Shepard came out and said, Corporal. I said, yes, sir. He said, take me to tank company. I said, sir, this is the Colonel's Jeep. He said, well, wait a minute. Colonel comes out and says, Corporal. I said, yes, sir. You take Colonel Shepard to tank company and you stay with him. I said, yes, sir. Guess what I did that afternoon? I rode a tank all afternoon. Like I say, he was an excellent colonel, just a beautiful colonel, but I just couldn't take it anymore. He came out one day, he was very positive with me. He was right there. He came out, Corporal. I said, yes, sir. You go to have lunch right now. It was 11:30. Pick me up at 12:30 exactly, and I mean 12:30. I said, yes, sir. I went to get my lunch. I walked in, the mess sergeant says, what do you want? I said, I gotta eat. Get the hell out of here. You leave with the rest of the company. I said, I'm telling you, I gotta eat. The colonel wants me to pick him up at the time. Get the hell out, you leave with the company. I was 1 minute late. Oh boy, I knew he was mad. When he put that big old leg in the Jeep, I knew that he was mad. He looked at me and said, I thought I gave you time enough to go to lunch. I said, you did, sir. I thought I told you did, sir. Then what's wrong? I said, they wouldn't feed me, sir. Guess what? From then on, I don't care what day I walked into the kitchen, they fed me. Now, he called me in one day and says, is there a problem? I said, no, what problem, sir? He says, well, I noticed you applied to go to mechanic school. I said, sir, yes. I thought maybe I could learn a trade. Maybe learn some kind of a trade when in the service. He says, well, you're very smart. He says, have you heard about mechanic school? I said, no, sir. Guess what? Following week, I'm on my way to Fort Ord, California, to mechanic school. 8-week school. I did my trade. I finished my school in Fort Ord, reported back to Camp Cook. Oh my gosh, everybody's gone. I asked Sergeant Simpson, what's going on? He says, we're being deployed to Japan. I said, there's 7 days left. He said, I know. I said, can I go in furlough? No. Why? You haven't gone through overhead fire. So I spent 1 day going through overhead fire. So the next day I said, can I go now? No. Why? You haven't got through close combat fire. So I spent half a day close combat fire. I went home, 5 days, came back. They put us on a train. We go to Oakland, California. We got off the train, ready to board the troop ship, the USS Breckenridge. The Red Cross was there. I'm sorry to say this, but the Red Cross was there. They had donuts and coffee. I had $3 with me because they didn't pay me. So when I got back to Camp Cook, I only had $3. So I thought maybe I'll get a donuts and coffee. I went up there. They wanted $1 for donuts and coffee. I said, no, I can't spend my money. So we got on the boat. We're 2 days out of Yokohama. We're up on deck. One of the guys says, hey, Morales, I said, what? You got measles. I said, go to hell, I don't know measles. I said, oh, God. I went down with the sick bay. I had the measles. The doctor says, we can't do a thing for you. We're 2 days out of Yokohama. When we get to Yokohama, we're going to make arrangements for you. So when we got to Yokohama, we took a train to Camp Zama. Camp Zama, they put me in an ambulance. They took me to the hospital. The next day, I'm laying there in the isolation room, and these two guys came down. I knew they were wounded. They said, "Hey, buddy, how long were you over there? Where did you get hit?" I said, "Hey guys, I'm sorry to tell you this, but I got the measles. I've been over there." Now again, I had the Red Cross come in. They corrected this. I'll tell you, these two ladies from the Red Cross came in and said, "How are you, soldier?" So I'm fine, but I don't have a toothbrush. I don't have a comb. I don't have anything. "Well, have you got any money?" I said, "I got $3. "Well, why don't you give it the $3 and they'll see what we can get you?" I said, "Okay." I gave them the $3. Guess what? I'm still waiting. Never saw them. Never saw them. But this is my journey to Korea. So finally, we landed. And finally, they moved us from Southern Korea to Northern Korea to Camp Hagen. And we did a lot of training there. Now they informed us, we're going to do a practice amphibious landing. So prepare everything. So we had to snorkel the trucks and everything else. So now we go to do the practice landing. And they assigned me to an LSD. Said, "You're going to be here with all the equipment." We got down to southern Japan. The seas were so rough, they called the invasion up. So now we go back up to southern Japan. And then all of a sudden, in December of 51, I'm sorry to say this, but we were in town having a couple of beers, and the girl said, "You go to GI Korea." I said, "No, we're not going to GI. You go to GI Korea. Next day, formation, GI, you go to Korea." So we left Japan. I left Japan in January with advance parties to South Korea. Now, I landed in Incheon, Korea. Not an invasion. We came in later. I landed in Korea. They woke me up on my boat, and they said, "You're going with the advance party to the front lines. So get ready." So I got my stuff ready. I went up on deck. Huge icicles. And they tell me it's 40 degrees below zero. And I have to go down that net. And let me tell you, I was praying and everything, and I didn't fall off because the barge was down there, and I knew that water would freeze me to death if I fell down. I got down. Luckily, we had an enclosed truck. The driver had an enclosed truck. I was in the back because I was the mechanic. We were on our way. They gave each one of us a box of sea rations. Now remember what I told you. It was 40 degrees below zero. How can you eat this sea rations when they're all frozen? So how are we going to eat this stuff? As we go down the road, the driver says, "Oh man," he says, "I'm getting hungry." I said, "What do you want to eat?" "Hey, everything's frozen." I said, "That's not what I asked you." I said, "What do you want to eat?" He says, "I'll take the beans and weenies." I said, "Okay, pull over." "What are you going to do?" I said, "Pull over." So when we pulled over, I opened the hood of the truck. I took the cans and put them in between the manifolds, closed it. So many pounds. We had our and so we wound up going to the front line. I was stationed right next to the river. We had some exciting things going on also. At night, it was so cold, and we would have to go out and work on the cars. We didn't have any place to work because it was very, very cold. On my return home, it did not end. I mean, we were still very active with Korea. When I returned home, we had an organization of over 200 veterans of the Korean War. Every year, what we did, every year we send 5 veterans. Every year, we chose 5 veterans to go back to Korea, to Gyeopgyang High School and the other in Gyeopgyang, to present scholarships to the students. Now, also at this time, I'm going back to Korea with different groups. In 2019, I went back with another group. They asked me if I wanted to come back. I said yes. I met a young lady. She was our guide. Moon. Moon was her name. The first day that I met Moon, she says, "Roman." I said, "Yes, Moon. Can I call you Grandpa?" I said, "It would be an honor for you to call me Grandpa." "Nancy." my wife, can I clear with Grandma? I said, yes. Well, Moon and I stayed in contact through texting, back and forth, and all of a sudden I lost her. I couldn't find Moon. So what happened was that I was at the Consul General's house when there was a function, and a young man says, do you have a phone number? I said, yes. Well, 2 months later, I heard from Moon. She says, Roman, I am now married, and you are going to be a grandpa. When the baby was born, sure enough, she sent me a message, you are now a grandpa. Now, there was a young man there also who was a photographer, Kevin. Kevin was a photographer. I never heard of Kevin. And a month ago, I got a call and said, Roman, is this Roman? I said, yes. I said, who are you? He says, Kevin. Kevin from South Korea. I said, are you the young man that I spoke to at the function? No, 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 no. Are you the young man that I... No, no, no. He said, I'm Kevin. The guy that was with me in the bus taking pictures. He said, I lost your phone number, but I found it, and I wanted to talk to you because I would really love to talk to you. I said, don't you remember the day you left, you gave me some money, said, go have a good time. Ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you, I may be a veteran from the forgotten war, but there's one group who has never forgotten me, or the rest of my friends in the Korean War, and these are the Korean people. You people have never forgotten us. And from there, I thank you for all the things you've done for me, my fellow citizens, my soldiers that I served with. Thank you for your continued service. Division, I'm very, very proud of my division. And I love to see all the young men and women who are in the 40th Division. Thank you very much, Jill.
Ms. Sylvia Beck now represents Roman's journey to Gapyeong Scroll and letter to Sergeant Morales.
Wow.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. See what I mean? One more. Where can I find better friends?
Yeah, one more.
Sergeant Morales, thank you very much for sharing your story, example, and journey. We now interrupt briefly for out of our standard order of events. From the office of the California State Senators, Stephen S. Choi, we have 3 awards to provide.
이자 회장님, 그리고 권영호 회장님, 이용 회장님 세 분 나오셔서
I can call up Captain Mike Yoon. It has been a long time, so we presented appreciation to Lieutenant David Chang and Captain Martin Choi. We have prepared many certificates for veterans and those who helped here. Time we'll give them individually, besides this 4 individuals.
이거를 회장님은 5만 원인데 매달아 주세요. 예, 이거를 아니요, 이거를 회장님이 이거 걸어주세요. 네. 자, 아니요. 목에 걸어두세요. 목에 걸어두세요. 네.
Thank you, sir.
네. 그리고 여기 shake hand. 네, 여기. 네, 보세요. 네. 자, 여기 바라보시고요. 네. shake hand. 예. 낙서하시. 네. 자, 우리 카메라 바라보세요. 네. 네, look at this camera first. 예. 네, 박수 한번. 예.
God bless you. Congratulations. Let me call. 여기 이름 부르는 사람 앞에 나와 주시기 바랍니다. Will you please come forward? Captain Martin Choi, Lieutenant Commander David Chang, Captain Mike Yoon.
감사합니다. 사진을 찍읍시다.
That was a pleasant surprise. I didn't know I was getting an award. All right, well, we will now move on to our closing tributes, which blend youth, culture, and gratitude. To start us off, Mr. Ryan Kim will now read a student letter for us. Please welcome Mr. Ryan Kim.
Good morning, respected Korean War veterans and soldiers. My name is Ryan Kim, and I am a Korean-American high school student. It is a very deep honor and privilege that I get to stand before you on the 72nd anniversary of the Korean War armistice. Before I read my pre-written speech, there is something I would like to express to you all. Thinking about it more on this very special day, the thought struck to me that I am a rising senior. I'm about to, next year I will go graduate and go into college, and currently I am able to play volleyball, follow my interests, and do other things. But none of these would have been presented to me if not for the wonderful and courageous efforts and actions of you all. It is very easy to forget and take for granted the opportunities we have in life. And for me to be able to live this very normal high school life, it is more than just a gift, it is a wonderful blessing. So I would just like to thank you all for everything that you've done. Moving on to the speech that I've written. I was born into peace, into a world where I've never had to fear for the safety of my family and where I have never heard the sounds of war. That peace is not a gift given freely. It was earned through sacrifice, through courage, and through unwavering love for freedom. Though I have never faced the horrors of war myself, I have listened. I have listened to many stories, and every time I feel the weight of what was given so that I could live the life I have today. To every Korean War veteran here, you were someone's son, someone's father, someone's friend. And yet, you left the comfort of home to fight in the land that you had never known, for a people you had never met. You answered the call, not for glory, but out of duty, out of heart. You gave everything so that freedom could take root, so that peace could endure, and so that generations like mine could grow up unshackled by fear. Because of your bravery, the Republic of Korea endured. Because of your sacrifice, its people were able to hold on to their language, their culture, and their dreams. Because of you, I can stand here today as a young Korean American, living freely in both heritage and hope. We owe you more than thanks. We owe you remembrance. You deserve honor beyond anything we could possibly give. We will never forget you. To our soldiers, you carry the torch now. You wear the uniform with courage and conviction. While many may never fully grasp the weight that you carry, we are grateful. Because of you, we wake up each morning with a sense of peace. Because of you, this ceremony, this moment, holds meaning far beyond these words. As I stand here, I feel a responsibility, one that I will carry for the rest of my life, to remember, to honor, and live with gratitude. The alliance between Korea and the United States was not built on treaties alone. It was built on sacrifice, sealed with blood, and upheld with devotion. It is a bond that I hold close to my heart, and one that I will never take for granted. So today, from the deepest place in my heart, I thank you for your courage, for your service, for the peace we are so fortunate to know. May health and peace be with you and your families today and always. Thank you.
Ryan, thank you. Future leader speak clearly. Thank you for the moving speech. At this time, Leon Augustine Cho will perform for us a cello solo. Let's give a couple moments while he sets up. Thank you, Leon. We appreciate the residents that you have brought here today. At this time, Pava World dancers will now present a traditional Korean fan dance from flags to fans. grace in motion. Thank you to every dancer of Papa World. At this time, Ms. Sylvia Beck will now present a historic photo gift linking Gapyeong and this division.
This gentleman is Korean World veteran. He's from Gapyeong native.
Round of applause, please. Images hold time still. Your gift releases memory. Our gratitude. Now, the Korean American Women's Society presents a framed Mubuha blossom.
Okay, my name is Potin Kim, also art, professor. This is a Korean nation flower crystals, and then that means inside the face of love, and then God bless all veterans and families, and then the world peace. We need that one. Thank you. 통일 대한민국 이루자. 민주, 자유, 평화, 행복. 주님께 찬양과 사랑과 감사와 영광과 축복 기도드리나이다. 대한민국 만세! 건강하시고 행복하세요. 감사합니다.
Craftsmanship and care both evident. Thank you very much, Ms. Pogi Kim. At this time, KAYS students distribute sweets and letters. I now ask all veterans and soldiers to stand for this event.
Thank you.
Well, one last thing to
자, 우리 새로운 영상에요. 한국전쟁 되게
Let me have your attention, please. You may kindly take your seats at this time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We now have a special Taekwondo demonstration by Yongin Martial Arts of Cypress, California. Round of applause, please.
Here, okay. Okay, camera, okay? Thank you.
Great job. Okay, kids.
Discipline means heritage on full display. Another great round of applause to the Yogi Martial Arts of Cyprus. We will now stand for the benediction provided by Chaplain San Hee Kim.
Let us go to God. Almighty God, we lift up those brave souls, those went, those stayed and never came back, and those came back with honor. All those, especially from the 40th U.S. Army Division, who stood for freedom on distant shores and for the enduring peace, forged through sacrifice and resolve. And we honor and remember the 72nd anniversary of the Korean War Armistice. Grant us unity, courage, and the wisdom to uphold the legacy of those who served with honor and with gratitude. May peace prevail, and may our nations ever walk in the light of liberty. We pray all this in your glorious name. Amen.